Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This is the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again with your host Nick Scopes and the Gregolicious. You know how we do, cause you know we keeping it gangster and silly. Unplugged like a full swung titty. Bout get jitty, cause you know we down to the nitty and the gritty. And we make shit sound so damn pretty. Yeah, cause this unhinged comedy. And right now you're in the mix, so get ready, cause we bout to get it poppin'. And we ain't stopping.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Yeah, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Mangina Dialogues. I am your host, Nick Scopes.
And I'm the Gregory.
Oh, man, I had to hold that in. What the hell?
I told you, feel free to laugh. So this is usually the first question I always ask, right? Now, I know you're a punk rock guy. What'd you think of that song? How do you feel about it, Shapel?
You know, there's just certain musicians in the world that just really get across to people, and I think you guys did that.
Well done.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Dude, I'm gonna text you the video after this there's a video for it, and it's
that'd be great.
And it's puppets singing, just so you know.
Now
he's freaked out. Anyway,
what did I get myself into?
I know, dude. You answered the wrong DM. Now here you are.
Yeah,
it's like every other girl in the next life answered the wrong DM.
Shut the fuck up. But anyway, I didn't even introduce you yet. So our guest today is Shapel Lacey. What's up, dude? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. How's it out in California right now?
Would you say how hot is it?
No, how is it? Just in general, it's rainy and cold here. That's why I wanted to know how it is in LA.
Ooh, it is? Oh, man. No, yeah, it is sunny as it can get. Yeah, it's just sunny. Sunny California, man.
Sounds terrible.
Los Angeles. I mean, where I live is terrible, but yeah.
Where do you live?
I live right in Hollywood.
Oh, you're right.
And
it's
everyone
terrible.
thinks Hollywood is... Yeah, everyone thinks Hollywood is like, oh, man, yeah, it's awesome. And I'm like, go look at the streets.
You got your own spot?
Like, I have roommates and stuff like that. But, like, if you're in, like in the actual neighborhood, like, it's not too hectic. But, like, when you get on, like, the busy street, oh, bro, it's fucking nuts.
You're not on like the corner of Highland and Hollywood Boulevard, are you?
No, dude, I would never. I
know. I've
that
stayed.
Dude, it's so funny too because when people go on Hollywood Boulevard because there's a lot of tourists and shit like that, man, and they all these tourists they lay down on that fucking sidewalk to take pictures with these Hollywood stars, and I'm like, dude, I don't think you understand the amount of piss. Shit that goes onto the street, man. Oh, sorry, excuse my language.
No, go ahead, dude.
But yeah, man, it's a fucking yeah. I'm like, get off the damn ground.
I don't think they realize what Elmo actually does in that costume.
Yeah, man. I'm like, you ever heard of the fucking plague?
Started on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, seriously.
That's wild, man. I've never been to LA, so Hollywood's not a great part, huh? Is it just a little fucked up or what?
Not necessarily. Not like Hollywood. It's a little. I mean, there's some places you could see. You know what I mean? That you should probably see and shit like that. Like the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It's pretty. It's pretty dope. They hold like movie nights there. They do like concerts there. Like every year, because Johnny Ramone. His gravesite is there, and so every year they do like this Johnny Ramone tribute, and all these like people come out, like fucking Fred Armisen comes out. I forget that dude's name from Green Day. Billy Joe something.
Armstrong.
Yeah, Billy Joe. Like he'll come. Yeah, Armstrong. Yeah. He comes out and fucking does some shit for it, and like that's like a pretty cool part of like Hollywood. But other than that, get the fuck out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
You ain't wrong. You are 100% right. I'm in LA.
Dude, you're in LA a lot?
Yeah, I'm in LA a lot, and I've occasionally had to go to things over on like at the theater. And I only will stay there if I can stay at the Lowe's and not have to ever go outside. That connects right to the Kodak.
Oh yeah, that Lowe's is nice, man.
Connects right into the Kodak, right into like a couple of restaurants. You never have to hit the street. It's like fuck this shit.
Yeah, you're totally right. That's how you got to do it, man. Yeah, before I went full-time comedy, I was working in that area, man. So I just saw the disgust every day. But I mean, hey, welcome to Hollywood, you know?
You need those tour buses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What were you doing for work before comedy?
Well, I've worked in hotels, man. I worked at a hotel, like it was like a newer hotel and like right in that area. But yeah, I've always just worked in hotels. Like I did valet and bellman work and stuff like that, and like the room service, like the in-room dining shit. Hotels is a pretty like, I don't know, I think it's like a dope job, like especially if you're trying to like do comedy or anything like that. Like that's one of those jobs where it's like, I don't know, pretty fitting, you know.
Can I guess the hotel?
And what's even cooler? Well, you want to guess the hotel?
Yeah, let me take 3 stabs.
Yeah, go for it.
The Jeremy.
Nope, that's in West Hollywood.
Oh, okay. So you're talking like in that neighborhood over there?
Yeah, like right on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh shit!
Like, well, it wasn't directly on Hollywood Boulevard, but like it's right next to Capitol Records.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know what hotel that is, but I know exactly the building, of course.
Yeah, it's called the Everly. It's a newer hotel. I think it's barely. I don't even think it's 2 years old yet.
What's the best thing on the room service menu?
Shit, that motherfucking breakfast sandwich.
What's on it? Let's hear it.
Dude, fucking just bacon, egg, and what the hell is you can either do a bacon or like they have this like chicken sausage that you can do with that was just so fire.
What's it on?
That was like the thing that I was like, bro, I don't know how to say that damn bun, but it starts with a B.
Brioche.
There you go. That bun.
That was in stereo. It's always about the bread on the breakfast sandwich. It's always the bread.
Yeah, it is, man. It really is, dude. It really fucking is, dude. I'm picky about that kind of shit because I'm like, bro, if I had a brioche, like, it all has to do with the fucking bread.
You know who's got a good breakfast sandwich is hotel
Who?
Is in the restaurant in the Sportsman's Lodge in Studio City. They have a good breakfast sandwich. You ever been over there?
Oh shit, you got me sold. Nope, haven't been over there yet.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's just
but I love a good damn breakfast sandwich.
And then what's that? There's a little fast food joint right on Melrose next to Paramount Studios. Astro, I think.
Astro Burger.
Burger, yeah.
I'm right over there. Yep.
Yeah, that place has the best breakfast sandwich I've had ever at a fast food style place.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I got a ham, egg, and cheese on their roll. It was like $2. It was amazing.
Dude, I fucking hate ham.
Yeah, well, they can put bacon on it. Meat of choice. Yeah, pick your meat.
So I fucking hate that.
You said it's about the bun.
Yeah, I hate ham though.
Dude, I gotta say, I really enjoyed your podcast. I listened to the first episode.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I mean, I really do. Because I mean, I was like, do I want to do a podcast? But then I was like, well, if I did one, why don't I just do it the fucking way I want to do it? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how everyone does a podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I've found my way, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely like a really good storyteller, and it's also to do it just yourself. that's like, I don't know if I could sit in a room and do that. Like, I think it takes talent to do that.
And that's something Nick doesn't have any of that.
No, none.
He's talentless.
Damn, no talent? Oh, then why the fuck am I on this call?
I have I'm talented.
Shut up, Greg.
I've got at least 6 talents.
Greg just knows about breakfast sandwiches. You don't fucking know
That's
shit.
a talent, fucker.
Hey, that is a talent. I got to respect the man for that.
So, Shapel, let's get a little bit into like your history. You got an interesting background, and I'm very curious to know like how it led in, you getting into comedy. So just take us back.
Yeah. Throw a question at me, and then usually I can go from there.
What got you into comedy?
Someone dared me. Next question. I'm just kidding.
Is that literally what happened?
Yeah, someone dared me. Yeah, literally, someone dared me, man. Yeah, someone dared me when. Shit, man. I don't know how far you got into the podcast episodes, but yeah, I was a competitive cheerleader, and I was cheering at the University of Louisville in Kentucky, and my buddies used to play these acoustic nights at this bar in Louisville, and we would go there on Monday nights and get drunk, shit like that. And one day they were like, "Shapel, why don't you come up here and just come up here?" I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I just told a story because they were playing music, and I told a story about how I wrote a love album for a girl, and then everybody thought the story was funny, but I wasn't realizing like I was doing a joke, and then I played the song or whatever, and they were just laughing. But the last thing I thought that I was doing stand up, you know what I mean? I wasn't thinking like that. And so I want to say like the next day or like a few days later, one of my homies was like, "Yo, you should think about doing stand up comedy." And I was like, I don't know anything about it. But like when people would get me to do something, this was back in the drinking days. Like I was the type of drunk that would do the say I won't. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I was that kind of a drunk.
Gotcha.
And so everybody knew they could pull that on me to get me to do something. And usually it was like a tough challenge. It wasn't like, stick this up your ass or anything like that. It wasn't like that. It was just, it wasn't no jackass shit. It was usually like fucking, you won't talk to that girl, or you won't do, something, along those lines where I'm like, motherfucker, say I won't,
Right. Staple your nuts to your leg or something ridiculous.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I got morals. Come on. And one of my friends, he was like, you won't do it. I said, say I won't. He was like, you won't. And then literally, I signed up for like an open mic. And then I just fucking, before I signed up for the open mic, I fucking studied comedy because I didn't know anything about it. The only thing I knew about comedy was Eddie Murphy Raw, Kings of Comedy, and Dave Chappelle's Killing Them Softly. But I didn't think of those things as like something I could do. I just looked at those things as like, oh, these are really fucking funny things. It wasn't like, oh, I want to get on stage and do that. It was never, ever that. You know what I mean? So, I just studied and just started watching a shitload of comedy, like from fucking like, no names to like big names, and just seeing what the fuck it was about. And I was like, oh shit. So then I, somewhat found my own groove and just started writing till I narrowed some shit down, and then got on stage at an open mic, and I fucking had a blast doing it. And then I dropped out of college. I was like, oh, I'll do this instead, So now I'm here.
What sport did you cheer for?
We cheered all of them. We cheered volleyball. We cheered volleyball. That was fun. We cheered soccer games. I hated that shit.
Cheered at soccer games? That's interesting. I never.
Yeah, dude. That shit was long as fucking boring. But and then cheered like football games and basketball games, which like the only one I really liked cheering was the basketball games, just because it was more fast paced and stuff like that. But like for like the football games, yeah, it was just a little too slow for me or whatever. But yeah, that's what I cheered.
Who was the basketball coach at that time?
Patino.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. So you saw some awesome games.
Mafioso, dude.
That's dope.
That motherfucker. Dude, every time he walked into that arena, people would just like get quiet.
Yeah, right.
It's like the Godfather walking in. He's like, "Oh shit, he's here."
How did you get into cheerleading? Like, is that you did that? Like,
I was gonna say, because you're a big fucking dude. You look like you should be playing football. So
I know, yeah, I do, but I did not. I was. It was my drummer. I was playing in a little ska band. I mean, we didn't get far, but the drummer, my drummer's sister was a cheerleader, and I had a crush on her, and she got me into it. And
really?
But originally when I was like 5 years old, man, I taught myself how to do flips. So I already knew how to do like the backflips and shit. So like when I did it, it actually made sense. It wasn't too far out of the ordinary that I could do it. And I was skateboarding. So I wasn't like scared to like do shit, like go for shit like in that physical aspect, to like flip my body and like all that stuff. So it actually makes sense. And when people like, they're like, how'd you go from punk, like from skateboarding punk to like cheer? And like, it actually makes a lot more sense than when I explain it, when I break it down to how I really got into it.
So you weren't just the guy holding the girl's butt while she did her formation.
No, I wasn't just that guy. I was my strength was probably like the tumbling aspect of it. Like I was the dude that was just like, everybody would just fucking watch do all these crazy flips, because I was a big geek for martial art films, so I thought that shit was cool. So like when I would do those flips, like I just felt like a martial artist in a sense, like those OG like Shaolin movies like the dub voices, yeah, and they would just do the crazy flips and shit like that, and shit that you actually can't do as a human. But I was like, I was just a geek for that stuff. So like I was just fascinated, and then started trying that shit outside in the park.
I couldn't imagine walking by a park and seeing a dude your size just fucking ripping flips. Like it's not.
Oh no, I wasn't this big. I was like, what the hell? Because I was like 5. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm thinking
so,
like you're like, how big? How big are you, by the way?
Nowhere. I'm like 250. I shouldn't be, but yeah, 250.
What were you in your cheering days?
Oh, cheer days, I was way lighter. I was probably like around like 210, 220, somewhere around there.
Still
I want to say like 210.
It's still like if I saw you doing flips in the quad on campus, I would literally I would assume I would just sit there and watch for as long as you were doing those flips.
Oh yeah, that's dude. Like people would like that's why I never got shit for doing it. Like no one ever really. I mean, people have tried to, but they feel real dumb after like they see me do it. They're like, "Oh, he's a better human than I am."
You got to be pretty stupid to give a guy shit who's 220 doing flips in the park.
Yeah, that's
chances are that guy's going to kill you. Easy.
Yeah. That was another thing too. Is that like I was, bigger than most people, so no one ever like talked shit. They were more so amazed by it. Like they were just like, "Oh shit, this is fucking dope." So, and like I don't do shit for validation. So I did the shit because I liked it.
Right.
So I never cared what anyone thought.
You thought it was cool, so you were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do this."
Yeah, I thought it was cool as fuck. You know what I mean? I traveled a lot for it. You know what I mean? And got a full ride scholarship and all that shit, and so and all those damn medals. So it was pretty fun.
Dude, for a full ride, yeah. If they made fun of you, they're fucking stupid. Be like, you should be like, enjoy those student loans, assholes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got no fucking student loans.
So, so you're doing cheerleading, you're on a full ride, and then you drop out to do comedy. What is what's the family's friends' reaction to that? And the school, your coaches, I'm sure your friends were like, dude, what are you talking about?
You know what? No one really questions what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no one ever questions what I do because I'm just such an individual. I'm like a lone wolf, man. Like, and I'm very unapologetic. That doesn't mean I have like a cold heart. It's just like, you're not gonna tell me like that's just a punk rock in me, man. Like you're not gonna like if I want to do something, I'm gonna fucking do it. And you're not gonna fucking give your opinion on it because like I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for myself. So, you know, and plus I think a lot of people in my life knew that like, oh, when Shapel goes for something, he's gonna be good at it because he's got a work ethic. So like no one, I think that's, you know, reasons why people never really question anything I do. Like if I say, yeah, I'm gonna drop out of college and do stand-up comedy, you know, I don't think like people that, you know, like my close friends and family, I don't think they were like, yo, that's fucking weird. I don't know if you should do that. Like none of them were, you know, were ever questioning that. And like, even if they did, I wouldn't give a fuck, you know?
Where did you grow up?
Yeah. I grew up in Arizona, man.
What part of Arizona?
I grew up in Mesa, so a suburb of Phoenix.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, like 20 minutes outside of Phoenix.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
I heard that like the Phoenix Scottsdale area is pound for pound the most amount of silicone implants on girls anywhere in the country. I'm not sure.
Scottsdale, man.
Is it Scottsdale?
Yeah.
Is that's true? Like that's a true thing?
Yeah, it's the Scottsdale area. Yeah, I mean you see a lot of that shit out in Scottsdale, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't fuck with it. I'm like, get out of here.
Get those things away from me.
Yeah, like, you look weird.
So how? I mean, obviously, we, you know, I know you're super into punk rock and all that stuff. So, like, how'd you get into that?
Yeah.
You know,
punk rock.
Yeah, like, were you like at a young age? Did you just gravitate towards that style of music, or did you grow into that?
Yeah.
And how?
Yeah, man. There was just something about. So, like, when I was younger, man, I always loved listening to the radio, man, listening to music, and like that old school R&B, like old school funk, like Earth, Wind and Fire, Zapp and Roger,
yes,
fucking, yeah, like that type of stuff, like
fuck,
you know, George Clinton, you know, Funkadelic, like there was just something about that music that I was always catching me into that early, like, you know, early stuff is like far as like Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, like that. Like I just always been intrigued by that music, and then switch to the radio station got me into like, you know, when I heard like, you know, that the first rock song I like, you know, that really caught my attention was the song Mississippi Queen by Mountain. You know, I just the guitars, the way that it was projected, you know, the drums, the loudness of it, and I just thought it was such a unique sound. And then, you know, I grew up with a very abusive stepfather, and so, you know, he wasn't too fond of like me listening to that music because it wasn't what a black, you know, kid was supposed to be listening to. But I didn't see there's anything wrong because I was just like, this is good stuff. This is what I like. It's a dope sound, you know. And you know, as I was getting a little bit older, you know, like in like I want to say the latter parts of my elementary school, I started getting into like the heavy metal, like the like Korn, Pantera, you know, stuff like that, Deftones, you know, all that shit, because you know, with the abuse, man, that was the sound I was hearing. So when it came into my life, it just made sense to listen to it. You know what I mean? I just gravitated to that heavy sound.
Right.
You know, and then go ahead.
No, go ahead. You continue.
No, and so then in junior high, I was taking my junior high offered guitar classes, and because I've always wanted to play an instrument, I always wanted to, you know, jump into that world. And so my junior high offered guitar classes, and I, you know, started playing and caught on really quick. And a buddy of mine asked if I wanted to be in his band, and he was like, "It's ska," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know what the fuck that is, but let's do it," because I just wanted to play. I thought it was cool. Yeah, fucking band, hell yeah. I mean, this is what I listen to. I listen to fucking music all the time. So then we, he invited me over and we're jamming. He's showing me like, you know, some ska bands like Less Than Jay, Goldfinger, Link 80, all that stuff. And then his brother, my buddy's brother, was into like the 80s hardcore, and he would walk around with a Black Flag T-shirt on, and you know, it was that Bars logo that really caught my attention. That I was like, it just showed this type of like this fucking badass and powerful energy that I was like, what? I was like, what is Black Flag, man? And he was like, oh, you never heard of Black Flag? I was like, no. And this is back in the OG days of like computers, man, when you had to go to like, what was it, Kazaa? I don't know.
Kazaa and LimeWire.
It was a little bit before LimeWire. It was like Kazaa, like right before Napster. May have been before Napster. But
it was green, right? It was like that green thing, I think. You and I are the same age, I think.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was something like that. And he showed me this video of Black Flag, and it was the Rollins era. They were singing Rise Above. And I was like, oh, this is what the fuck I'm looking for. And so that's when I locked into punk rock, and I just got into Black Flag immediately, Minor Threat, and then fucking Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, GBH, fucking Exploited. Like I just got into that whole world, man. And you know, that was I consider that to be like, you know, that's like my blood. It's the punk rock, because you know, that was the first time I ever stood up for myself as an individual. Because when I discovered, you know, that 80s hardcore, and so you know, I haven't turned away from it since. You know, yeah, I was 13 at the time or something like that. So.
I see. You still represent the Black Flag logo on a ton of stuff on your Instagram. Jackets, hats.
Oh
shirts.
yeah, I know. Such a geek for it. Look, people send me Black Flag shirts. You know, like people send me, you know, like some like rare, like not rare, but like, you know, some bootleg shirts. So like I have so many fucking Black Flag shirts, and I have the Bars logo tattooed on my chest. So like, it's my world.
have you seen any of the like Rollins do his either his spoken word or Rollins band shows?
Yeah, I saw Rollins speak. I've seen Rollins speak like, I think, how many times have I seen him speak? 3 times. And one time I got to perform with him.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And that was recently. Yeah, that was at this festival in Ohio called the Sonic Temple Festival, and they have like a comedy spoken word tent. And so I was on the same lineup as Rollins, and our trailers were right next to each other. We're like connected, so it's fucking insane.
Was he lifting weights outside of his trailer?
He's so cool, man. It was cool to like talk to him on because I've met him before, but like just strictly fan level, like real quick picture and, you know, hey, hi, bye, you know, type deal. But to actually talk to him like outside the trailer and have like a solid conversation with him was really fucking cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, I can imagine that's gonna be pretty amazing since you're so into to have that time with him.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah, man.
That's incredible, man. Go ahead.
What like are you into any of the newer? I mean, I don't even know who would be the newer punk rock bands, right? But like, is there anything like newer music that you're listening to that you like that brings you back to that same thing?
I always search for that stuff because I always want to support those bands. You know what I mean? Because like especially if it's authentic and it's got a great sound to it, I'll always give it a shot, man. I'll never turn that stuff away. You know what I mean? Because I mean it's what I love, and if it continues, if people continue to keep playing the music, then fuck yeah, I'm gonna check it out and listen to it.
Right.
There's this band called Beach Slang that has a really good sound to them. They're out of Pennsylvania. There's this band I just found out about them. They're called Mannequin Pussy. But
wait, hold on. Mannequin Pussy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they on Spotify? I gotta look this up.
Yeah, they 100% are, man. And they got I know. When I saw the name, I said, "What the fuck is this about?" But then I heard it, and it was very. They have some melodic tunes, but they also have some very explosive tunes, man. It's some good shit, really good stuff. They have a girl singer, and she does lead vocals and guitar. It's fucking awesome. Very explosive band.
I'm definitely gonna check out Mannequin Pussy for sure.
Yes, yeah, I know. The name already caught my attention right there.
You're gonna catch Greg at like a Macy's, just like taking the pants off all the mannequins.
I know, right?
That's not what we meant, you fucking weirdo. That's not what we were talking about.
It's their next cover. What are you talking about?
Did you hear the new Cro-Mag song?
No, I did not.
You did not. Oh my goodness.
No.
Gotta get on. It literally came out, what, 2-3 weeks ago?
No, last Friday.
Last Friday, the single came out. I think it's From the Grave.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if it came out like so I've been traveling a lot. I just started like traveling a good amount, with comedy.
Yeah.
And I when I travel, I like to keep my phone away from me. So, I'll go on it from time to time, but not too heavy. So I do like to keep my phone away from me and just explore wherever I'm at and hit the journal. So
yeah, you got to check.
That's probably why I haven't.
You got to check out the song. It is awesome. I mean, it really.
Shit, yeah.
And he has Phil Campbell from Motorhead playing guitar on the track.
Oh shit!
It's like
damn.
It's very the guitar is very Motorhead-esque, obviously. But
okay, hell yeah!
It's very definitively like Cro-Mag's music. It's really cool.
Oh shit! I'm gonna check that out. Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! I'll do that.
So one thing I kind of wanted to talk about with you was, so you're doing comedy for a while, and you told this story on your podcast about basically like Bryan Callen. You were in Phoenix, I believe, and Bryan Callen was like, "Hey man, you're done here. Like time to fucking get to LA." How long was that from like when you started doing mics to like, you were like, all right, maybe I gotta, go to LA and get this shit done?
It was guys like him that gave me the confidence, because I was like, well, I don't think he tells anybody this. I mean, I don't think he didn't come off as a guy that just wastes his breath to say things to people. You know what I mean? And the way he explained everything to me was like, it was very sincere. Like I didn't catch a vibe of like, oh, this guy's just saying this just to say this, because I don't think there's a thing about like moving here, like where a person needs to be. I think the biggest thing is your mental preparation more than, obviously you got to have the jokes, but like your mental preparation has to be number one. And I think he just looked at me as a guy that like, that carries himself in a way with a solid foundation of confidence, and and was able to just say, hey man, like you need to leave. So I think, so when he had told me that, that was the end of, when the fuck was it? That was the end of 2016. So all of 2017, I just hit the Phoenix scene even harder, and then 2018, I took off to LA. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you knew this, but yeah, I had stopped for 2 years after my brother had passed away, and so I didn't want to do comedy. You know, I didn't have a love for it. It was just kind of for obvious reason. It was just too hard to like do. It was so hard to get on stage after that. You know what I mean? Especially because like my brother was like my pretty much my best friend. So it was just tough for me to get on stage, and then a buddy of mine, was like, hey, you're going up tonight. And when I heard that, it was just kind of like, oh shit, like didn't really have a choice. It was kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, like you're going up in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I went on stage, so I had stopped in all of 2014, 2015. And when I got back on stage in 2016, that was the first time I felt like real. And plus, then I felt like I was no longer riding off that dare, anymore.
Right.
Like from when I originally started doing it, I was like, oh, I don't feel like I'm like someone dared me to do this. I feel like it feels like authentic to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, then all of a sudden a bunch of shit just started happening for me. D'Elia let me open for him. Frank Caliendo, Hannibal Buress, Bill Burr, so many people down the line. Bryan Callen like just started letting me like jump on and share the stage with them, and then there was something about that I was like, oh shit, yeah, I got to really look at this situation. Like these people fuck with me on a level. I mean, these are big dogs.
Yeah.
So it was like, so it just gave me the confidence to be able to go, oh, I can make this happen. And then I just fucking, took off.
How did you get those opportunities with those guys? Was it just from seeing you around doing, sets, or did you know them from Phoenix and them coming into town?
So the only person I knew prior to all that was D'Elia. He was the first person I met in comedy back in like 2011. So he was the first person I met. So like, and he kind of introduced me to like some people or whatever. But like most of the time, so I worked at a hotel where that was right next to the big comedy club in my city, and a lot of comics would stay there, and that's where they would put the comics that were performing at the club. And so, like for instance, I helped Bill Burr with his bags, and we just started talking and had an authentic conversation. And then he was like, "Man, you wanna come by and open for me tonight?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then so that's how a lot of it would just happen that way.
So wait, so Bill Burr comes into the hotel, you help him with his bags to the room, and you wind up opening the shows for him that night or the next night. That's a pretty incredible story.
It was like the next time. Oh, dude, that. You want me to tell the whole story? I'll tell the whole story. So,
I want to know how that happened. Yeah. I need to start working at a hotel, apparently. I don't know.
I know, right? So he comes in, I help him out with his bag, all that stuff. And then this was like the night before his performance of, he was coming to do like 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 shows, so 2 shows a night. And I had bought tickets to go see him, and obviously, because I was like, oh, this is like, one of my top days. So the next morning, I see him. He comes down, and he was going to go rent a car or whatever. And so I'm sitting there chopping him up with him out front, and told him I was a comedian too, and he was asking about the comedy scene in Phoenix. And then we honestly talked more sports than anything. because the Boston Celtics were playing the Phoenix Suns, and we were just talking, basketball and stuff like that. So then, he takes off to go get his rental car, comes back, and we chop it up a little bit more. Then he goes up to his room. Well, he came down for lunch to go get some lunch, and he was like, so Shapel with an S, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, huh. He was like, are you funny? And I said, yeah. And then he goes, ah. I was like, okay. So then I didn't know what to say to that. And he just goes, ah. I was like, okay, man. And so then he was like, well, why don't you come by tonight? Let's see what you can do. Let's put you up.
God
let you
damn.
open. And I was like, oh, shit. And that moment, man, that was probably the most nervous I'd ever been in my entire life.
Were you funny?
I haven't been that nervous fucking ever, I mean, it was the club seats 600, and the shows were sold out like within, I think like a couple of weeks before he was coming, they were already sold out. So then it was just fucking nuts. So, I was like, okay, man, here it goes. And then, what made me even more nervous right before I went up, he was like, all right, man, I'm going to watch you. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I was like, all right. So then I go out there, man, and fucking, put myself to the test and fucking, succeeded. And then he let me finish the rest of the week with him. After that, and he's like, let's let you finish the rest of the week.
So the answer was yes. You were funny. That's pretty amazing.
I mean, he didn't necessarily say that. I'm not going to say that's what he thought or anything like that.
Well, he let you play two more shows. He let you play two more.
Yeah, I feel like Bill Burr would be like, this guy he was all right. Give him two more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you had to do well. How long did you do? You said 5 minutes?
The first night was 5 minutes, and he gave me more time the next night.
Yeah, he thought you sucked.
Well, I mean, it was a very cool experience, and that was like that was one of the bigger moments where I was like, yeah, I gotta move.
Have you done more shows with him, or done anything, or is that just that was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I performed with him like quite a few times, like at the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
like that.
I've heard that about Bill. He typically takes guys out with him to do shows who are really, really bad. Like that's his thing. Like it's a setup.
It wasn't necessarily his like. He asked me. It was just like we were on the same lineups together, like the Joe Rogan and Friends show.
Yeah. So is the Comedy Store like your home club now?
Well, I'm not paid regular there. Like I'm going through the process, the process that they have to create. Like they really build comics up there. But yeah, that's where I get the most love is the Comedy Store.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, we had.
That's where I go up the most.
We had Punky Johnson on the other day. That's our. Most,
she's lovely.
Yeah, it's the episode we just put up this week. Yeah, she's fucking awesome. She's hysterical.
Yeah, she's great.
Dude, so what's next for you? We're gonna wrap up in a little bit, but I want to know, like, because I listen to your podcast. You just started headlining shit now. You got things going for you. Like, what's up for you in the future?
Yeah, just rolling with this and building this podcast. I'm kind of a dude that's like I don't tack many things at once. I kind of just like subtly, conquer this, and which opens the door to the next thing. So right now, like the podcast is what I'm really excited about, and I've been enjoying fucking doing it. And everyone's like, how the fuck do you talk and be able to talk so well by yourself for that long? And I'm like, well, you got to realize I sit at a coffee shop and journal for like 4 hours. So pretty easy.
You're not just like, all
yeah,
right,
like,
here we go.
Like there's so much. It's basically what my podcast is. It's me talking my journal out loud.
Gotcha.
But I just don't do it for 4 hours.
Yeah, dude, plug your podcast. Tell them the name, kind of the reason behind it and all that stuff.
Yeah, so my podcast is called It's Managed. And Brendan Schaub actually is one of the people that helped me come up with the concept, around it. And then my girlfriend actually came up with the name, but Brendan was like, you should do something with your journaling, like, cause you journal so much, like he goes, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of interesting things that you obviously write down cause you do it so much. He goes, why don't you just talk it out loud as well? You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I never really thought of it like that. And plus, one of the things I work on the regular is my anger, which is why I journal. And that's pretty much like how I came up with the whole concept is, all the shit I learned in my anger management and how I still have to apply all that shit today. So that's pretty much where it was founded.
It's very cool, man. It's good you're turning that. I mean, Brendan Schaub's, he's pretty good at podcasting. I heard he has a pretty popular one, so that's cool that he helped you out. Yeah. He seems to be pretty good at it. Yeah.
He was a volleyball player, right? He was a volleyball player.
Yeah, dude.
I thought so.
He's a solid homie, big brother to me. So yeah, I give a lot of love to Brendan Schaub.
Dude, it sounds like you got everything going for you in the right direction. You're at the right place at the right time with the right people.
Nick's giving Schaub a lot of love in his mind all the time.
His mind.
All the time. I got a slight man crush on him, a little slight man crush.
He's lying. He's got a huge tattoo of him on his back, like Steve-O.
You know what it is, dude? This is how I think of like. No shot. I think of him like
almost hung up.
Yeah, dude, Fire and the Kid. I think about those guys like Schaub's like the hot young dude, and then there's like Bryan Callen would like, read you a history book and like take you to dinner and like, teach you shit. Like old man shit, That's why I have Greg here. He's my resident old man, so
very zen.
Yeah, he's something else. But dude, we're gonna wrap it up. So just plug like your Instagram, anything else you want to plug. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but you can even plug some shows coming up. I know you've been headlining. When do you come to the East Coast, dude? When do you come to like New York area?
Man, I don't know. I would love to, like, because I just got like agent and all that stuff. So like these bookings are just now starting to happen. So, hopefully sometime soon, or I'll just fucking take myself out there and just fucking go do the damn thing. But, hopefully soon. I have never been to New York. I think one of the East Coast dates I do is DC. That's in January. So that's like, hopefully they can book some more stuff around that. So we'll see, man.
So you never been to the Northeast?
No.
Bring a jacket.
No. Oh, man.
I know you're like, fuck. Phoenix to LA, you're like, fuck this snow shit.
I hope you have more than flip-flops.
Yeah, dude.
January is
I
not
don't
fun.
even fucking wear flip-flops.
Although DC is not bad. DC is fine in January. It's way warmer. I mean, enough where you don't have to die every day.
Yeah, because I'll fucking go crazy.
Well, if you ever come around New York, A, we'll come see you, and B, we have a club 40 minutes outside the city in Norwalk that we book, so we would love to have you, and it's brand new. I'll send you photos of it. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, send photos, bro. I would love to.
Yeah, I'll send you that, and we'll.
There's a snuff video also.
And that puppet video.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of video coming your way.
Yeah, you can hold off on the puppet video, but yeah, man, go ahead and send those photos of the puppet.
That's bullshit because you're gonna get that puppet video and you're gonna put it on your playlist.
You're gonna laugh your ass off. It's not as weird as you think.
All right, if it makes me laugh, then I'll
it's fucking funny. But dude, Shapel, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Very much appreciated.
Yo, thank you. You guys are awesome.
How often, actually, before we split, like how often are you at the Comedy Store? Because I'm in LA a lot, and I go to the store usually at least once or twice when I'm in town.
Yeah, either once or twice a week. Usually when I am there. So.
All right, cool. I'm in town in a couple of weeks. I'll hit you up and see if you're. I'll try to hit one of your. If you're playing a set, I'll try to hit it up.
Yeah. Holla at me.
I will for sure. Okay.
All right.
It's good talking to you, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And I'll send that puppet video right now.
Great conversation.
Puppet video's on the way.
Yeah, send it.
Later, dude.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You
Thanks.
too.
All right.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged.